to BSc Honours in Zoology, I cordially invite Professor Mayuri Wijesinghe, the Honours Degree Program Coordinator, and as a graduate, Mr. Tharindu Krishan, pursuing his higher studies in University of Alberta in Canada for this webinar.
Good morning to all of you. And my pleasant task is to introduce to you the zoology stream. But at the onset, I wish to tell you that our aim is to see that you do well in life. And I think more than, as Professor Preeti said, more than even the career opportunities or job opportunities, you must have some passion about what you do. So although we are here to tell you about the streams that we like to showcase, right? Please go with your gut feeling and your passion, not just because we tell you or because your seniors tell you, right? You have to be passionate, and that is only when you have the satisfaction about what you will do, right? So with that, I would like to just give you a brief introduction about zoology. Now, I'm not going into the details of the courses because I believe all of you have your handbook of the prospectus of the faculty, and that will tell you that in your third and fourth year, we do a range of courses ranging from ecotoxicology, vertebrate biology, molecular biology, parasitology. So you would physiology, you would have an introduction to a multitude of disciplines or topics, so to speak, right? So I thought I will first give you some idea about the wrong notions that you might have about zoology. So Rochelle, if you allow me to share just 2 slides.
Yes, madam.
Okay, now I believe you can see the screen. Yes?
Yes, madam, we can see the screen.
Right. Okay, so the zoology special degree was offered right from the very inception of the department, and as Professor Deepti said, around about 1926, 1925-26, the zoology special degree program was offered. But coming through the years, you would see that it has deviated considerably from the fundamentals of zoology. Now in A-level also, you would have been exposed to some amount of zoology, and therefore you might feel that zoology is all dealing with either dissections or the basics of, say, animal diversity, ecology, so on and so forth, right? However, right, if you look at the curriculum, the courses that we do offer today, you can see that it is actually a lot more applied, right? And applied, cutting across very, very novel fields that you would never even probably associate with zoology, right? So, for example, you have the use of tools like GIS, right? Which you might not think a zoology graduate will be exposed to, and I'm sure Tharindu, who will talk to you after this, would know that we try to incorporate a lot of these novel techniques, either from molecular biology, immunology, and also a lot of environmental techniques into zoology, because the scope of zoology has widened so much and delved into different fields that are very different from the fundamental zoology that you might think it is, right? Then secondly, it addresses important and applicable fields. So as in today's context, the environment, wildlife, fisheries with a lot of economic growth, you know that a lot of attention, focus is being paid on our fishery resources, on our ocean resources, right? Then pest outbreaks. Now you all must be familiar with the Sena caterpillar, right? Finding solutions to such a wide problem, a very applicable solution, right, would not only require the basics of zoology, right? A lot of more kind of an integrated and advanced fields and tools need be applied to zoology. Of course, you must have the basic knowledge in zoology, right? But from there on, you can go into a lot of applied fields from conservation biology. Now, yesterday I was in Minneria, not just to, you know, just to look at the elephants or the other wildlife. I was there to have a conversation and have a discussion rather with the irrigation department. Now, what has irrigation got to do with the Minneria or the animals? A lot, because our whole discussion revolved around how to manage the water levels of the Minneria tank so that it would be given optimal habitat for the elephant gathering. You know, Minneria is known for its elephant gathering. It is actually the only place where the Asian elephants, such a gathering of Asian elephants is recorded in the whole world. And therefore, yesterday's visit was to try to, you know, integrate the irrigation department and the wildlife to manage this particular resource. So likewise, I'm basically a conservation biologist and an ecotoxicologist because I work in both of those fields. And I know that there's a lot, and in today's context where a lot of deforestation changes in the ecosystems are occurring, we must use more novel ideas and more novel approaches in order to address and find solutions, right? Whether now, for example, an ecotoxicologist will deal not only with, you know, testing toxicity, but to more applied fields, to monitoring and assessment, right? Which will also bring in a lot of immunological, molecular biological approaches. Now, one of the students who worked last year worked on the wild buffalo, right? It was so interesting because when we looked at the past, we are not even 100% sure whether we did have a native stock of wild buffaloes. So in that case, how do we discern that fact? Is by looking at the molecule, the molecule aspects, right? So you can see that there's a lot of applications and there's a lot of you know, novel techniques being drawn in to the traditional zoology to make it more applicable, more useful, and more advanced. So as I said, incorporating many advanced methods and techniques, right, from diverse disciplines, from environmental science, from molecular biology, from immunology, and to use it to find solutions to very pressing issues that we face today. Then lastly, extremely multidisciplinary. So it's not only the zoologists or the zoology department that you can collaborate with, right? Here again, a project comes to mind where one of the students worked on thermal sensitivity. And for that project, the undergraduate project, about 2 years ago, right, for which we have a very good journal, science-cited publication, which came out of it, the physics department chipped in to devise the instruments, right, to measure various endpoints of toxicity. So you see whether it's the chemistry department, sometimes even the plant sciences, or even other universities, and I'm sure this is not only for zoology, for all the rest of the fields, there are many others outside our university and outside our department who collaborate with us, particularly through maybe as visiting lecturers or through the research projects. And as Professor Preeti said, we give you all the opportunity to work on a project of your choice, but we, of course, it has to be feasible and practical. Having said that, we always try to accommodate your interests. And being a zoologist, you have the opportunity to work on a project related more to, say, parasitology, looking at disease prevalence or certain parasites, or you have the option of working on immunological aspects, right? Certain immunoresponses in a given animal, or even the human for that matter. Then you can work on environmental aspects, where some of our students worked on the heavy metal levels in how to use the heavy metal levels in bird feathers for environmental monitoring. Right now, that's a clear application of zoology. Then looking at how heavy metals affect the singing or the calls of birds, which one of my students in the past 2 years, she's working on how the calls of birds might be affected by pollution. So things like which probably you might not think a zoologist would be allowed, or such a project will be that you will be able to embark on such a project by doing zoology. So I'll move on to the next slide. Since we were asked to speak on certain job prospects, and sometimes as zoologists, certain students are reluctant to do zoology because it does not, the name alone does not have a modern ring to it, right? But the job prospects are endless, opportunities are endless, right? Because it introduces you to various fields, from parasitology, from wildlife management, conservation biology, ecotoxicology, immunology, right? I have fisheries and aquaculture, entomology, right? All of those fields are touched upon in this zoology special degree in your 3rd and 4th year. And of course, after that, you have the common research project for which you can select a topic of your choice and going into any of these wide disciplines, whether it's wildlife or parasites. Now, talking of job prospects, like any, like I think Dr. Sampath mentioned that doing a special degree in any discipline would allow you to do PhDs, and therefore, as Tharindu will speak to you after this, like him, we have many other zoology special students who have now gone on to be either academics already, or they're pursuing their doctoral degrees in different universities all over the world, right? Then, so you can get into academia to a university. Then you can also work in a research institute, right? After you get your doctorate, or in order for you to do a doctorate, you can join many research institutes. You have the ITI, molecular, the gene tech, and other little research institutes will gladly absorb many of our zoologists, because they have had an introduction to many of the novel techniques in many fields, from environmental science to immunology, etc. Right? So they would stand a chance to get scholarships and to pursue their MScs and PhD degrees in Sri Lanka or elsewhere. Then you have many private and government institutions which will be ready to absorb yours. So you have a lot of these government line agencies like the agricultural department, water board, irrigation, the wildlife department, forest department, facilities, aquaculture, related to aquaculture and fisheries. So there's a multitude of line agencies. If you like to do a government job, well, by all means, you have a lot of opportunities everywhere, right? And then if you talk of private entities, you have other institutions that work on, say, agricultural related, water related projects. All of those will require persons with a sound knowledge, not only in zoology, because I said the zoology discipline is very wide in scope, embraces a lot of other fields, and therefore, if you see the list of courses in your transcript, they would surely be willing to hire you, of course. While you do or undertake your special degree, you must also develop your other skills like speaking, and I'm sure all of our special degrees focus very much on developing the soft skills, presentation skills, speaking in English, teamwork, solving problems, data analysis, right? All of those must also go hand in hand with the subject knowledge, right? So equipped with all of those, you have endless opportunities. Then even places like banks and certain industries, they have industries and NGOs, they have conservation arms, like the DILMA, for example, right? Hay they have a lot of, they have now deviated from their regular fields, so to speak, and they have opened up other little subsidiary arms, so that you know, they also bid for conservation projects, for example, right? Environmental impact assessments. Ecologists are one of the compulsory positions in any environmental impact assessment team, right? So being a zoologist surely would allow you to apply for such a position, right? Then you have CSR projects, whether it's DILMA or whether it's you know, any other company, right? Even banks, they have their CSR, the corporate social responsibility projects. They want to hire people with knowledge on natural sciences, zoology, in order to monitor those, in order to implement those. Right? So don't just think of academia alone. You have many opportunities. Curators in museums, not only here, even in other countries, media institutions. You know that there's a huge focus on the environment, our wildlife, our biodiversity as a country, right? So a lot of media institutions lack people with sound knowledge on zoology and natural sciences. This gives you all, with a degree, a special degree in a certain in applied zoology, to apply for these positions. And of course, many other teaching institutes, whether it's schools, whether it's international schools, universities. You have a lot of overseas universities here in Sri Lanka, branches. Many of those areas will also be open to you. So with that, I will end my little talk about applied zoology. So we are here. We welcome you with open arms, all of the special degrees to the department. So we wish you, and I must also say that we have actually extremely friendly staff, right? So we are not here to cut one stream or to market one stream over the other. You are free to talk to any academics, right? Email or speak to any academics. So talking on behalf of the zoology stream, I will be happy to help you at any time with any queries you might have. So good luck and make a wise choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear madam, for this informative time. So I invite Mr. Tharindu Krishan for the presentation.
I'll share my screen. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Not yet. I think I'll have...
I have shared it. Can you,
yes,
madam?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity, and thanks for having me here. Okay. Now, in my presentation, I'll be basically talking about why BSc Zoology degree and how this degree helped me to achieve my higher education goals. So, as Mayuri madam said, there are so many misconceptions associated with this zoology degree program. One is some people say if you do zoology, you can't go for higher studies. Some people say if you do zoology, you can't go for high ranked universities and so on. So therefore, I'll talk a little bit about myself. So I completed my bachelor's degree in zoology, and now I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Alberta, Canada. That's the this university is the 4th ranked university among all the Canadian universities, and the world rank is 101. So, and my research area is my research focus on to study how birds respond to forest changes caused by industrial disturbances like oil gas mining in Canada. So these are some of the field sites of my research project for the Alberta boreal forest and the Athabasca River Basin. So if I take our zoology alumni as an example, there are so many people who are doing their PhDs, MScs in different universities all around the world in different areas. For example, Kajanka he's doing his PhD in Melbourne University, Australia. Chirati Vijay, she's doing her PhD in Memorial University. Jeevanta Bandara in USA. Tejani Pereira, she's doing her PhD with the University of Colombo as well as with the Robert Koch Institute, Germany. And there are you can see the list. And the special thing is they are not just zoologists, their research areas are very wide. The spectrum of researchers are very broad. You can see some of them are working on avian physiology, from avian physiology to reproductive ecology, to fish biology, to zoonotic diseases, to medical entomology, to proteomics, to olfactory ecology, to zoonotic diseases, to ion channel physiology, to there are so many research areas. And very recent, and each and every factor that I'm going to talk in this my presentation actually helped me to achieve my higher education goal. The first thing is our undergraduate research zoology research project. So as our madam said, you have that opportunity to choose your project and choose your supervisor. If it is feasible to do, then you will get that opportunity to that project. So my research project was to study the phylogenetic affinities of Sri Lanka bush warbler. I did my research project with Dr. Sampath Seneviratne. So I worked in remote central highland mountains in Sri Lanka. And the important thing is our lecturers always encourage us to publish. So publications are very important. Without publications, actually research are useless. So up to now, I have published 4 publications, one in an international journal, and the manuscript was accepted a couple of days ago. And I have published many other conference publications as well for my undergraduate research. So you have that opportunity to do good research projects as well as to publish them. And if I talk about my colleagues, they did different types of different projects in different fields. For example, Ramalka's project was on agricultural entomology. Kavindya's project was on evolution and molecular phylogeny of giant squirrels. Shehani did her project on gastrointestinal parasitology of mammals, top macaques. Chalani's project was on medical geology and reproductive immunology. Jude's project was on shorebird speciation and evolution, and he found a new species, I think you may know that. And Thilini's project was on ecotoxicology, and Vidyani's project was on nest ecology and parasitology. Ruvini did a human genetics research, and Naveen developed an instrument to detect bats' movements. So as you can see here, their research projects are very broad. The research areas are different from one to another. So if you select the zoology degree, you also have this opportunity to work in different areas as you wish. Next, another important thing is you have an opportunity to do parallel research projects other than your undergraduate research project. So I'll take myself as an example. So I got so many opportunities from our department through my degree program to do many other research projects as well. So I did a small project on wayside trees and roadside birds with Professor Dayavansa, and I did another study on protected area management with Mayuri madam, and another project on habitat preferences in fragmented forest patches with Professor Sudhira Ranwala from the Department of Plant Sciences. So you will have that opportunity as well. If you want to do more research, if you're passionate, so you have that opportunity too. And I find our curriculum and our courses are well balanced and broad. So that's because the reason is some courses offer a fundamental knowledge about the zoology, the area of zoology. For example, animal kingdom courses, anatomy and physiology, and human and animal parasites, molecular biology, immunology, development biology. Those courses offer you a fundamental knowledge about different areas. Some of the courses are focused to give specific knowledge on specific areas. For example, ornithology gives you knowledge on birds. Similarly, parasitology, fish biology, and you have entomology, and you have ecotoxicology. And some of the courses have applied aspects, management aspects with more field work. For example, wildlife management, conservation biology, animal kingdom practicals, and so on. And some of the courses are laboratory oriented, which gives more laboratory skills. For example, immunology course and immunology practicals, parasitology practicals, fish biology practicals. Finally, some of the courses are career oriented, like aquaculture, fisheries, and project development. And I think one of the most important factors of our zoology program is it gives a strong exposure to field research and studies. So you will have an opportunity to work in different areas, remote areas in the island, to gain different field skills, field research skills, as well as not only that, the field activities give you opportunity to improve your soft skills, ability to work in teams. For example, I can remember if I was when I was interviewed by this university. So my supervisor asked me, actually, he asked, are you comfortable with long-term or extensive field work? So I could say yes, because I have done so many field work in University of Colombo. So these are some of the examples you can see. We had actually these are field workshops to Galloya National Park, Wasgamuwa, Manor Adams Ridge, and Batalegoda, Nilgala, Madroya. And you can see Wasgamuwa, Gilimale, fish biology field sessions in Nigambo, Kumana, Atwaltota, Kudumbigala, Singharaja, Madhuroya, and there's a huge long list. And the final one was to Sripada Nature Reserve. So this is one of the best experiences I have ever had in my life. And as similar, not only field experience, and you will have an opportunity to work in the lab. So there are many courses which offer laboratory practicals like immunology, parasitology, fish biology, entomology practicals. So you can gain hands-on experience skills in laboratory exercises as well. So and another important thing, zoology special degree, if you work well, if you perform well, so you can go for many awards and gold medals offered by the university, and you can compete for university level awards. Actually, I'm proud to say that the last year, the most outstanding science student at the faculty was my colleague Ramalka, and I was recognized for the DPP Samarasekara Peace Prize university level, and there are 3 gold medals exclusively for zoology special degree students, like Ghulam Hussain Noorbai Gold Medal for Zoology, PB Karunaratne Memorial Gold Medal for Ornithology, and again Ghulam Hussain AJ Noorbai Gold Medal for Best Research Project in Zoology. And you can and there's another gold medal which is shared with the environmental science students, that is Field Ornithology Group of Sri Lanka Gold Medal for Conservation Biology. And you have 2 memorial prizes and 1 scholarship. That one also exclusively for zoology special degree students, that is Wijesinghe Memorial Prize and Ghulam Hussain AJ Noorbai Scholarship in Zoology. So so you have that opportunity as well to achieve medals and awards to boost your CV. Actually, it is very helpful for you for your future career. And finally, what I have to say, none of these degrees, even zoology or IIMB or environment science or business and environment science, or whatever the degree, don't give opportunities free. So you have to earn it, you have to perform it, you have to be dedicated, you have to explore and achieve. So yeah, good luck. That's what I have to say. So good luck, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Tharindu. And once again, Professor Mayuri and Mr. Tharindu, thank you very much for the informative presentations.